Hello and welcome everybody to my channel Life Care Clinic. I am Dr. Udaykumar, HIV specialist, and I deal with lot of infectious diseases concerned with HIV and AIDS. Today we are going to be getting to a new topic, that is the advertisement. Most of the advertisement regarding sexually transmitted diseases and HIV have lot of issues that concern the person. Most of the time these advertisements are misleading and there are a lot of cross-pathy issues that there. So today we are dealing with misleading advertisements and cross-pathy. So without wasting time, let's see that as we know, our country India is blessed with lot of indigenous system of medicines, and these systems of medicines help us and the people of India to get rid of all the elements of the medical elements in their body. Though there was a issues that people always used to have in the previous 50 years, so back 1900 to 50, before independence, we didn't have any kind of advanced medical system. But in the last 75 years after independence, India has grown with lot of highly advanced medical treatment. So lot of systems which with this particular issue also had some other issues with this, and therefore there were no policy. And HIV AIDS, as we know, started in 1981 in the US and 85 in India. We noted that in Chennai, and after that lot of people started to get to know of this disease. And since when a person with HIV would turn into AIDS, he would be having loss of weight, loss of appetite, for a weak fragile frame of body, and people would get stigmatized. And for this, there were a lot of issues which the people faced. A lot of people had come up with a lot of solutions in an indigenous way, and therefore they need to be monitored. And this monitoring was done by National AIDS Prevention and Control Policy by the National AIDS Control Organization, which is the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. So this policy says that any indigenous system of medicine, ISM, there is an urgent need to look for cost-effective alternatives to anti-retroviral drugs in the indigenous system of medicine like Ayurveda, Unani and Siddha, apart from homeopathy. Some of the medicines in this system have the potential of reducing the viral load in the body of the patient, thus ensuring a healthier and longer life with the infection. But as we know, until and unless proved, we cannot accept or recommend any kind of medication to a person with HIV and AIDS. Lot of people do claim that they have some potential benefit in which they can help treat HIV AIDS or cure HIV AIDS, which was not yet been proven all along. But people without having any medical background or having a small amount of knowledge, they try to work up with this particular issue and thus misleading people. So the government has sponsored research project in homeopathic and siddha system of medicine, which are receiving encouraging response. It will pursue a policy of sponsoring research in the indigenous system of medicine and homeopathy for the development of drugs which can serve the purpose of anti-retroviral but at a much lesser cost. But as we know, lot of the drugs in the indigenous system of medicine, they are not potentialized, and that can have a problem or issue with that. So at some time it is necessary to be vigilant against the unscrupulous persons claiming a cure for HIV AIDS by magic remedies. Now we need to consider what are magic remedies. Magic remedies are something that somebody can claim that it can cure all kind of diseases. There are lot of people who claim that, and they do not understand what and how, or what is the pathology or pathogenesis of the disease and how that can help in curing the disease. These people just work on few stuff like having a good appetite or having a gain in the weight or other physically or which can be seen system, so that carries the weight for them. But most of the times these people are bluffed with lot of other issues. Suppose a person is given a steroid, then the steroid can increase the weight. That doesn't mean that it is curing the HIV AIDS or other diseases that are there in it. A lot of people have a lot of other kind of medications which they say that has been coming there in that has been running in their family. They had made it a family business. I would like to quote one example which was there about 20 years back or so, in which there were claims of giving a medicine with the help of a fish to a person, claiming that that fish medication would clear asthma of that particular patient. So people who thought they were having cough or asthma or some kind of long-standing diseases would definitely take that particular treatment, and they would offer that it was being given free, and then sometimes they could also say that you can donate money if you are getting better. But it was later found out that these kind of people were fraud or were bluffing the people, and therefore there were a lot of issues with it. It was then. Therefore, any medicinal system of treatment which cannot stand the test of scrutiny by professional organizations like the Ayurveda Council or the Homeopathic Council cannot be accepted as a drug or a system of treatment in the country. So every pathy has its council, national council, and this national council would then regulate the regulate the particular treatment or management and provide the right treatment to the people. So the Drug and the Magic Remedies Act requires an amendment to stringently deal with the cases of unscrupulous persons taking advantage of the misery of HIV infected persons and defrauding them of huge sums of money. So I had lot of people who came to me and they say that we had gone to some kind of Ayurveda person or Baba who tells that he can cure HIV, and he was asked to give them a lot of money, and these people then suffered a lot. I had a case in which a person was given homeopathic treatment claiming to cure HIV, but then the person landed into having CMV of the eye, and which was then treated by me. So a massive awareness campaign has to be launched to make people aware of dangers in such medication, but unqualified persons indulge in quackery. There is also one case in which people were claiming that having some magical powder with them, and later that powder was found to be Septran or Bactrim, and this particular powder which was used, it has been used in treating or supporting HIV/AIDS people when the CD4 is less than 200 to help to prevent 6 to 7 diseases including PCP pneumonia and diarrheal disorders. Now coming to the Indian Medical Council or the Professional Conduct, Etiquette and Ethics, the Regulation Act 2002, which prohibits dispensing or prescription of drugs of which does not know the composition. So any person selling anything which does not have a proper prescription or any composition which is not known, it is then prohibited by the Indian Medical Council. So we should know that any kind of dawa or any kind of powder which when not known properly should not be given to people, that can have side effects. Now coming to secret remedies. Yeah, there are the people who prescribe such kind of medicines dispensing by a physician or secret remedial agents of which he does not know the composition. The manufacture or promotion of their use is unethical and as such prohibited. All the drugs prescribed by a physician should always carry a proprietary formula and a clear name. This is a must. If we want to practice ethically, these are things we should know. Anything given to the patient should have a prescription and should also have a proprietary formula and a clear name. Lot of time people go by word of mouth by some local persons who is not aware of this. Since our Indian medical system was not based by advanced medical treatment pre-independently, lot of people do have local remedies or remedies they think that could cure this particular thing. A lot of people do rush to some centers where they think they can get some drugs which help them to treat this. There are places well known for this treatment of jaundice. There is a place where people come from all over the India, all over the places to get rid of jaundice. There are places where people go for treatment of paralysis. There are places where people go for getting treated if they have a dog bite, and etc. etc. These kind of things are very common, and we should be aware of that. So the Indian Medical Council, the Regulation Act 2002, which prohibits a person who is qualified in some other system of medicine to practice modern system of medicine. So directly, Medical Council of India, this tells him that this particular system should not be there. We should not have a cross-pathy. A person who is educated in one branch cannot practice other branch. If a person is allopathy, he cannot practice homeopathy, and vice versa. So it states that no person other than the doctor having a qualification recognized by the Medical Council of India and registered with the Medical Council of India or State Medical Council is allowed to practice modern system of medicine or surgery. So it is very necessary that you should be registered with the Medical Council of India or State Medical Council. A person obtaining qualification in any other system of medicine is not allowed to practice modern system of medicine in any form. This is very, very clear, and anything objectionable should be notified to authorities so that they can take a necessary action. In the case with the Poonam Verma versus Dr. Ashwin Patel, the Supreme Court has held that a person trained in one system of medicine cannot practice in another system of medicine in which she has not been trained. It is observed that a person who does not have knowledge of particular system is a quack and a mere pretender to medical knowledge or skill, or to put it differently, a charlatan. So this particular case gives in a clear notice that if you are not trained in that, you should not practice that. If a person does indulge in such cross-pathy, no further argument or proof for negligence may be required, as it amounts to negligence per se. So it is clearly notified by the Supreme Court that any subsequent matter that medical practitioner of Indian medicine holding degrees in integrated courses, the state law, there is an exception for this. If you are having a integrated course in the state and in the state law under which the practitioner of India medicine are registered in the state, and state recognizes the qualification as sufficient for registration in the state medical register, such medical practitioners can practice modern system of medicine in that state. That is, the state gives permission only if the integrated courses are taken. And in Maharashtra, right now, this has been started. Now, what are Drugs and Magic Remedies Act? So, its act was passed in 1954, and if there is an objectionable advertisement, we can take a clear position. As actually, it is known that advertisement has the effect of creating wants. Suppose we have advertisement of noodles, then we are particularly attracted of that particular noodles, or any content that is shown as an advertisement creates a wants, and one can be lured into purchasing the advertised product. If the product happens to be a drug, it can produce deleterious effect if there is no control on the advertisement of the drugs used in the treatment of certain diseases, including HIV and AIDS. So per se, if you go with HIV and AIDS, then any drugs which when advertised that it can treat or cure a disease in HIV AIDS, then that is illegal. So with the onset of HIV era, some unscrupulous elements of the society started luring innocent HIV infected person with misleading advertisement, claiming to cure HIV AIDS. Such patient would then spend a fortune on purchase of such medicines. Now the self-medication would give a false sense to security, and the patient would continue to transmit the disease to others under the false impression that they are cured of the disease, while their immunity continued to deteriorate and some even succumb to the disease. So this was the worst part. People had false conception and then false security, and the patient had a lot of trouble at the end. So anything that is misleading should be reported and further action will be taken on the particular issue. So the object of this today's act is that the control of advertising of drug in certain cases and to prohibit the advertisement for certain purposes of remedies alleged to possess magical qualities. So magic qualities, anything has been advertised that should be purposefully taken against of. So what is magic remedies? Magic remedies is defined as any kind of talisman, mantra kavach or jadoo and any other charm of any kind which is alleged to possess miraculous powers for or in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment or prevention of any disease in human beings or animals or affecting or influencing any way the structure of any organic function of the body of human beings or animals. With a complete prohibition on advertisement of magic remedies purported to be efficacious in certain diseases including HIV. So we should always be aware of this. There is no such kind of magic remedies since HIV is there all over the world and each and every country in the world has suffered with a person of HIV. If there could have been some cure, a vaccine or anything, that would definitely reach to all the people who are in need of this such vaccine. As we have seen in Corona, that since the vaccine was launched, it was given to every other person in the world. So, to prohibition of advertisement of magic remedies of treating of certain diseases and disorders. So, it is there that no person carrying or purporting to carry on the profession of administering magic remedies shall take any part in the publication of any advertisement referring to any magic remedy which directly or indirectly claims to be efficacious for any of the purposes specified. So nobody can have such kind of involvement in any kind of advertisement. So this prohibits publication of any advertisement referring to any drug in terms which suggest or are calculated to lead to the use of the drug for the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment or prevention of any disease, disorder or condition specified in the schedule of any other drug or HIV/AIDS. So this particular thing is banned and nobody can put or display anything. However, if a registered medical practitioner may on his premises display a signboard or notice indicating that treatment for any disease, disorder, condition specified in his clinic, an advertisement leading to a drug sent confidentially in a prescribed manner, only the registered medical practitioner also does not contravene the provision of the Act. So these people should understand that we cannot directly deal with any disease without any scientific standpoint. So we should stop for giving misleading advertisement related to drugs. It also directly or indirectly gives a false impression regarding the true character of the drug, makes a false claim for the drug or otherwise false or misleading any material in particular that is been prohibited. So these are the other penalty and act that is there. So what is the penalty? Penalty, if you are in this particular issue, then there can be conviction, there can be imprisonment which can extend to 6 months or even fine or both. These are the penalty of this particular act. So we should know the subsequent conviction and imprisonment may extend to 1 year or with fine or with both. However, we should know that this act should be made more stringent and penalty should be more severe. Recently in the Corona times, when remdesivir was promoted and there were a lot of issues with it, there were some kind of act elements who had been under this particular issue. They had made some kind of drug which was similar to remdesivir, or it was a phony drug, when they were under penalty. So at the last, we should understand that cost-effective treatment with indigenous system of medicine can be looked into, but there cannot be a privileged magical cure right now. If there is a magical cure, that should come up with the professionals' conduct of the system, and we can only tell then that this particular system has the cure. There is need to be vigilant against quacks. Quacks, as we know, as any person who is doing a cross-pathy is called as quack, or any person unqualified to do a pathy is called quack. and advertisement of drugs claiming to be efficacious HIV/AIDS is prohibited, subject to certain exceptions when there are things we can work up and only under the guidance of the National AIDS Control Organization. So that's it. If you are new to this video, please like and share, and let me know in the comments if you like the content. What are your views on treating HIV? Why and where should a person get treated for HIV? And what are the risks involved in treating a HIV? So I'm Dr. Udaykumar, HIV specialist. My mobile number is 9145232616. You can WhatsApp me if you have any issues with HIV/AIDS. We are present at G9 G10 Anand Plaza complex opposite the Hotel Amarpit, Jalna Road. Closed on Sundays, and we have a lot of special availabilities for people living with HIV/AIDS. Thank you very much.